everybody, I'm Tom Vassell. Welcome to 12 Games of Christmas. This is the series of videos that we are doing, that we do each year, where we give you kind of a shopping guide where you can look at great games that you can get hopefully now. Many of these games are available at Game Nerds and other places on the internet that you can find and get for other folks for Christmas or perhaps yourself. This particular series of videos is sponsored by the World Series of Board Games, which is happening next year, September 28th to October 2nd, 2022, in Bally's Casino in Las Vegas. And so going there, there's going to be a tournament of 16 different games, and you can get to the top and win the grand prize of $25,000. And Vegas is often called the party capital of the world, and so I guess that makes sense now as we're talking about our favorite party games, or great party games that you can get for other folks. So here's 12 party games. Let's get started.
Let's kick things off with one of the newest games on the list, and that is Dreadful Circus. In this game, each player is running their own circus. Very spooky circus. Great artwork all over the place. And you are trying to gather the best acts. Each player on their turn is going to put a card from their hand up for auction. And everyone makes a secret bid for that card. They really want that. Maybe they don't want it, but you have to offer something. And then that player will select one of these boxes that contains an offer, look at it. If they like it, great. They sell that card off. They keep everything in the box. Everyone else gets their boxes back. Never even checked those. But if you close that box and check another one, you must give that box back. And you can never go backwards and accept a previous offer. So, is the first one you're checking the best one? The players are going to attempt to convince you of things that may or may not be true, and therein lies the fun. It's a very jovial game. Lots of laughing, lots of accusations are going to fly. Oh, so-and-so is not going to offer you a better deal than what I'm giving you. You want to check this one first. You will not pass up this amazing offer. And that's everything the game is about. Have, the best cards, the most victory points at the end, of course, and you have the best Dreadful Circus. So if you're looking for one that is very much about wheeling and dealing, Dreadful Circus just might be the party game for you.
The next game on our recommended list is Time's Up. You'll be splitting into 2 or more teams, and you'll be giving clues to have the people on your team try to guess your clues. Now, this is timed. Time's up, right? It's speedy. You're trying to get as many clues out as you can in that 30-second allotment. So
frantic.
It's unique in the way that it's actually played over 3 rounds with the same set of clues. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of the game, you actually have some knowledge of what clues are going to be in there. So it kind of gives you each person a different leg up on what it is. But in the first one, you can act out, you can talk, you can rhyme, you can sing, you do whatever you want. In the second round, after you've gone through all the cards and distributed the points, the second round you can only say 1-word clues and act out. And then the third one, you can't say anything. You have to act out only.
Oh my gosh, this game is laughter, 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 because by the end you've seen the cards so many times that the tiniest movement can completely get the rest of your team to be like, I know what that is, and call it out right away because it took so long to get to that point.
Right. The game gets harder and harder, but you get more and more familiar because you're using all the same clues.
So good. I want to play this again.
Very cool game.
One great party game is Wavelength. This is a team guessing game where you want to be on the same wavelength as your teammates. When you're the clue giver, you have this dial that you spin back and forth, and you have a card that tells you different wavelengths, like good, evil. And then you see where the dial needs to point on the wavelength of good to evil, and then you have to come up with something that fits that description. And then your teammates will be guessing. They don't know where the dial went, so they're guessing where the dial is. If it's like, what they said is really, really good. Oh, but there's things that are more good, so maybe it's only like 25% on that side or something. So it's a great conversation game to have with a party with a lot of people, just discussing how much towards one side or the other of the wavelength it is. So Wavelength is a great party game for a lot of people to have a conversation.
Next up is the party game Decrypto. This is a great thinky party game. If you're into, clues and words and all that good stuff, this kind of ramps it up to the next level. You're on teams of 2 to 4 on each side, so it goes up to 8 players, and you're trying to give clues so that the other team doesn't guess the sequence of words, but your team does. Also, you use the same words over and over and over again. So as they get more and more idea of what's making connections, they're trying to guess and kind of decrypt your codes. It's super fun. It's a great word game, and it's fabulous for 4 to 8 players.
Another great party game is Stay Cool. Stay Cool is a game, it's as fun to watch. Well, maybe it's even more fun to watch than to play, because in Stay Cool, you are asked a series of very simple questions. How do you spell cat? There's some dice with letters on, and just spell out the word cat. And how many letters are there in the alphabet? And simple questions like that. But the thing is, you're being asked by 2 different people 2 different questions at the same time, and you're trying to answer as many as you can from both those people. And when this is being timed, and you only have so much time to answer this question, and one question I'm saying the answers out loud, the other question I'm doing with the little letter cubes and answering them, it is very funny. We played it live on the channel so you can see how it works. It is, like I said, when you're watching, you'll split your sides as the person in the middle is trying to stay cool and not have everything go wrong. It is a really fun party game. Check it out.
All right, the next party game is Cross Clues. This is a really interesting one where you have a grid. So you have a grid right here and a grid right here and all these different words in here, and you're trying to get people to guess certain cells on that grid, but you can only give one word clue.
It is super challenging. Maybe you have across the top, you have the word doctor, and across the side you have, animal or a shark or whatever it is, and you have to kind of give one word clue. In that case, you give maybe a veterinarian. That one was a little easier, but maybe you have some very abstract things out there that makes it really, really fun and challenging to try to come up with a word that perfectly describes those 2 different categories.
This is kind of like a cooperative version of Codenames, right? But with like a party setting. So it's really fun. And one of the things that is neat about this game is it involves all players to participate. So you have cards and you have to be able to give the clues. Like only you can do that. So it makes it so where one person isn't doing everything in the game.
All right, next up, let's talk about One Key. One Key is a cooperative game. One player has an image, and there's a whole stack of these that they select. That is the winning image, and it will be hidden among many other images. About 11 of these are face up on the table. There's one that's the right answer. All the other ones are wrong. And all the other players are trying to decipher what that one image is. How will they do that? Well, the player who knows which one it is will give them clues. Very cryptic clues, but they will show them some other images and say if those have a strong correlation to the one they're looking for or a very weak correlation or none at all. In fact, you should go away from this idea. And the players will discuss what they're seeing. Well, that one has that sphere in the center. This one over here has many little spheres. Maybe there's a correlation there. I think maybe we want to keep that one. They will eliminate a few every round. If they ever eliminate the one you're looking for, well, you all lose. But if it's the absolute last one, hooray, you've all won together. One Key. Very simple, very engaging. Everyone is always involved on every turn, at every moment. So this one's just a very pleasant game to take part of. It's quick, it's very attractive, and it's going to lead to a lot of talking about why you did this, what were you thinking there with that connection. I love that kind of stuff. One Key.
Lying is one of the things for party games that people have. Am I going to lie to you? I mean, there's a whole series, Balderdash, but a newer game on our list is Detective Club. Detective Club, in this game, you have a series of weird pictures, strange things on these cards. And you're going to give everybody in the game is going to get a clue word, whatever that clue word might be, based on some of the cards you have in your hand. I might say the clue word is spaghetti, or it might be monster, or whatever it might be. maybe, but one person doesn't get that word randomly. Then everyone's going to start playing cards. They have these weird pictures in front of them. And then when everyone's played them, you say the word was spaghetti. And I picked this card because it looks like there's a bunch of noodles on it. And the next person says, well, I picked this card because everything's in a big pile and this thing in the corner looks like a meatball. And the person who doesn't know the word when it comes to their turn, they have to make something up as to why they picked the card. And then everyone has to figure out who's lying. Now, it sounds easy, right? But some people are so bad at telling the truth that they'll say, I didn't have any good cards in my hand and I had to play this card. And we're like, liar. It is a really entertaining game, and the whole family can get involved. It handles several players, and you're all sitting around laughing at the cards that people played and trying to figure out if they just didn't have a great card or didn't play the right card, or if they didn't know the clue word at all. Really cool, fun game, Detective Club.
Next up for party games is Letter Jam, which is a cooperative word deduction game. It's great if you like word games and deduction games. In the game, everyone has letters that make up a word, and you can't see your own letters. So you have one letter up at a time, everyone has that, and you can see everyone else's letters. You're trying to make words out of the letters that you can see to give hints to other players. So, for example, someone could give a hint saying which letters they're using and in what order. And then if I had a letter, I could see that they gave the clue S-T, my letter, then N-K. I would try to guess what that letter is. But it can be hard thinking of good clues to give, because that could be, is it stink? Is it stank? Is my letter I or A or something else? So you're trying to give good clues, but also try to guess with that. And there's a lot of deduction in the game. And you're doing that for all of your letters and then trying to figure out words at the end. So really great word deduction game, and that's Letter Jam.
I already talked about Dreadful Circus, so let's talk about another mysterious game. Let's talk, of course, about Mysterium Park. In this one, you are trying to solve a whodunit. Who, with what, where, right? You're trying to come up with that puzzle, but the only clues you are getting is from a spooky clue giver. A ghost who is going to give you very nebulous clues as to which way you should lean. You are going to be given images. You have to sort of interpret and decipher those images, and then put your vote, your sort of magical crystal ball on what you think the answer is out of, several choices out there. If you are right, great. You will move on to, now that you've discovered a person, discover a location, right? There's two things you need to solve. If you did not get that right, well, you eliminated one of the possibilities. You'll have another chance, but you have limited turns. So you have to be careful. All the players can work together, but the one handing out these clue images cannot say a peep. They have to be quiet. They cannot help you beyond this abstracted illustration that hopefully will trigger something in your mind. That's Mysterium Park. Very, very fun, kind of, a good vibe for a spooky party. Silly. You will have a lot of talking and discussing why you should go with this or that. I enjoyed quite a bit. That's Mysterium Park.
The next game we're recommending is So Clover. It is a play on words of so clever.
Very clever. Clover.
But you actually have a clover-shaped green board that you will write clues on. Now you'll get 4 cards that each have 4 different words on those cards, and you'll randomly put them on your board. Now each side will have 2 different words that you're trying to make a one-word clue to have the other players guess them. This is actually cooperative as well, which is kind of unique in a party game.
Totally.
You'll make those 4 different clues off of those 8 different words, and then you'll take them all off, add a random card in there, shuffle them around, lay them on the table, and now everybody has to guess the exact combination for each one of your 4 clues.
I think what I found really cool about this game, and I saw it done a few times, is sometimes there is just that one word that makes no sense with anything, and you have to try to figure out, I think that person just put it in there and it doesn't match, and that's fine. That's just fine. So it's really tricky to be like, did they add it because it kind of doesn't make sense? But it could, because you're thinking outside the box and how the words can connect. So it's just one of those wordy type party games, but it's very Clover. It's great.
The last party game that we have for you today is 5 Minute Marvel. That's right, this game takes 5 minutes. Well, it might be a little longer than 5 minutes because you'll play several things in a row. But with the Marvel Universe being so popular, you are taking one of the Marvel superheroes and you have a deck of cards and you're going to flip over bad guy cards. And then you need to use the cards in your hand to play symbols down to get rid of these bad guys. So you turn over the next one. And each player also has special cards that work with Spider-Man or Captain America or whatever hero you took. And so you're playing this as fast as you can because you need to get through the bad guy and then pull the next card out and then play those as fast as you can. It's silly fun. There's other versions of it. There's 5 Minute Dungeon and 5 Minute Mystery. But I like 5 Minute Marvel. First of all, with all the new movies and everything, the Marvel Universe is really popular. And secondly, it's just simple and easy. You could hate the Marvel Universe and you'll still have a blast as you're quickly playing these cards as fast as you can. Everyone is just moving and playing cards, and then when you're done, you can go on to fight another bigger bad guy, because at the end there's a big bad guy that you fight. Again, you're just playing down different cards. Some cards let you do unique things, but mostly you're just matching symbols. But it's a cooperative game, and a cooperative party game, well, there's just not a ton of those out there. This is a really fun one, 5 Minute Marvel. And with that, folks, we come to the end of our 12 Games of Christmas list in regards to party games. These are certainly ones to check out. And like I said, we tried to pick ones that were online, so go check them out. Once again, check our link underneath here for our sponsor, the World Series of Board Games. We'd love to see you there next year at Bally's. It's going to be a blast, and we're going to see who really can win and be crowned the champion board gamer of the world. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vass, and you've been watching 12 Games of Christmas on the Dice Tower.